So the next thing we are doing now is configuring employee payment structure. So after you have configured the earning component, housing, transportation, meal allowance, and the rest, after you have configured the formulas, the next thing is to apply them to individual staffs in your organization. So and to do that, you go to you log into HR module, then you go to employee structure. You go to employee structure. So under this all employees payment structure, you're going to see all your staffs that has been added to the platform with the different allowances that has been configured for them. For instance, in this case, you have these persons, you have their designation level, the pre-tax allowance, the pre-tax deduction, the tax, and then you have post-tax allowances. All of this is based on those configurations. Then you have the net pay as well. So to configure this for any particular person or for all of them, you start each one by one. You click on action in front of their name, then click on update payment structure. So it brings you to this page, and on this page, this is where you configure for each person in particular. So if you have created levels, then and let's say you have up to 200 staff, for instance, and instead of configuring for each person, you could just select applicable levels for each person, and it will automatically apply the structure for that level to each person. But in this case, you have a few staff and you have to do it manually one by one. Now what we have to do is, okay, for basic salary, was it calculation type flat amount or percentage of gross pay? So flat amount, you enter the basic salary here, let's say 50,123, that's 50k, or let's say 500k. So in this case, one pension processed for this person, then we tick process pension for this person. So it will use the pension settings in payroll settings. You get, that's the applicable payee formula in this case. So if basic salary is percentage of gross pay, then you enter the gross pay here, then enter the percentage of the basic salary here, but in this case flat amount. So now select tax type, that is the tax formula. So we can use pre-configured payee tax, which is just for Nigeria. Then we can use fixed amount, we can use percentage amount, we can disable tax for this particular person. If you use pre-configured payee tax, then that's what it is based on, it uses the Nigerian payee formula. If we use the fixed, then you have to enter the fixed tax rate here, that's fixed amount, maybe 3,000 naira for instance. If you used percentage, then you enter the percentage here, maybe 5%, that's a fixed percentage amount. Then but let's say we're using pre-configured payee tax, then there's no tax rate to enter. So you click on earnings, then you select an earning, let's say car allowance. Is it a percentage of gross pay? If what it carries over here is what you have configured. Let's say you configured is a fixed amount, then in this case you enter the fixed amount here, let's say uh 3,500 for example, you get, or 35,000 for example. If you say it's a percentage of basic and we've entered basic above, then we have to enter a percentage here, let's say 5%. So after this you add another one, let's say housing. So we find housing, then percentage of basic. This is what we configured in the component section, that's why it's carrying it over. So we can just say 10% in this case. Let's add another one, let's say meal allowance. So we can change this to fixed for instance, and we say it's 15,000 naira. So we go to post-tax deduction. After you have done it for all of the allowances, then you can go to post-tax deduction. These are taxable deductions for instance, then you select and apply the same thing. Same with pre-tax deductions, these are non-taxable deductions. In this case, for pre-tax deductions that are non-taxable, pension is one of them. So in this case, let's say welfare. Okay, fixed calculation type, fixed percentage of gross. So if welfare may be contribution in the office that is non-taxable, then we can select it here. Okay, we don't select pension here because once pension has been ticked, it carries over the formula, so you don't need to select pension under post-tax or pre-tax deduction. Actually, pension is a pre-tax deduction because it is non-taxable. uh, so after this you can add other items like you want, you get. So once you're done, you click on save, on submit. So this is it for one particular person. Then after this person, you go to the next person and you then select update. Update, let's submit this. We remove this because we didn't select any. Let's submit. So successful. So now we'll go to the next person and then we configure the same thing for this person. So this method is strictly for companies with less than, let's say, 50 staff. If you have about 100 plus staffs, then this is not the way to go. So you choose the next person and then you click on update payment structure, on and on. Thanks.